Good morning. How's it going? We're doing this again. A lot of people really like the style, so we're just gonna do it. Just gonna spend 10 minutes every morning talking about what I'm thinking about, and there we go. So what I want to talk about today is patience, patience, impatience, and like why you might not be having fun playing your games or improving at the games or whatever you're doing in life. Honestly, it's pretty universal topic there. I've always been a pretty mechanically adept player, been pretty good. I've spent a lot of time like trying to get good at doing combos and reacting to things and all that sorts of stuff. I grew up playing a lot of fighting games, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Capcom vs SNK, going to local tournaments. I've been to Evo 3 times, traveled to Evo, taken a couple rounds off some pros. I have pretty good mechanical abilities. I played Invoker and Dota. So if that means anything to you, Invoker and Meepos, pretty good mechanically. But I think my number one weakness is kind of being impatient. I think there's a lot of similarities actually when it comes to especially being able to feel out a build and make it kind of reach its final destination. And there's all sorts of things like earning currency, whatever, but we're just going to talk about this through the lens, trying to keep this around 10 minutes, trying to talk about this through the lens of why is my build not feeling good? Your impatience, kind of causing that, right? The number one thing I want to say at the beginning is like, when people ask me, is this build a viable league starter? The answer is, unless you absolutely need some core uniques, the answer is always yes. And what do I mean by that? Well, look at, let's take Ice Shot Deadeye or something. This is actually the example that my friend kind of showed me back in the day. Ice Shot Deadeye, notoriously hard to scale, deck stacking Ice Shot Deadeye. You're gonna get to white maps pretty easily. You're gonna buy your Des Opus, get your Heries, get your Quiver, get all that type of stuff. And then you're gonna get to yellow maps. And then like maybe early red maps, and then it just feels awful, right? At that point, a lot of people throw in the towel. And they just say, all right, build sucks. I got to throw a billion currency at it, whatever. There's this like, I need that instant gratification of, hey, day 1, day 2, day 3, I'm just killing the boss. I go immediately to the end game and I don't enjoy I'm not even thinking about that process of the fact that, hey, I'm just like, you can farm yellow maps and earn a ton of currency, especially with the new Atlas, and actually just play the game and enjoy that and go through that upgrade process. And it's really about that mindset of thinking for the long game. Getting some context of like, you're actually just sitting in the video game for no matter what, right? You're playing this game for a long time. Even if you're, let's say, a moderately casual gamer, who knows what the definition of casual is these days? I don't know. I don't know what a casual gamer is. I do my best to make things that are approachable for people that have less time, but I don't know what a casual gamer is. Everyone has their own definition. But let's say you have 10 hours a week. To me, I think that is basically kind of bare minimum for what you can invest into a game that is asking this much of you. I know there's people that play less, but I don't know. If you play less than 10 hours a week, I wouldn't play PoE if I couldn't play at least 10 hours a week. Let's say you play 10 hours a week. That's 10 hours a week, right? If you actually just compare that to other activities that you could be doing, 10 hours a week of watching movies, that's 5 hours that's 5 movies a week, right? I don't know, to me that sounds like a lot. 10 hours of reading books a week, I think that's, I don't know, to me that's reasonable, but that sounds like a lot, right? 10 hours of working out and going to the gym a week, that's pretty good, right? Like that is a significant percentage of your time. And if you think about what that actually, what you're actually doing in the game and the way that you're using that time, it's not even about like, Hideout is Lava being efficient and all that. Like that is definitely a thing that you should think about and consider when you're playing your builds. But it's really about just like, you're gonna be playing this game for 10 hours a week. That is a lot of time that you can spend upgrading your character and sticking with it. And the other big thing is that a league lasts 3 months. And I think a lot of people just get burned out by the whole, yo, I gotta rush to the end game, and I gotta do all this on like day 2 and all that. And like the big thing that I always say is like, are you those big economy guys? Are you like, you watch the video by like, when Jung Rohn said like, oh, how did I kill, Shaper on day 1 or whatever? And he's like, okay, well, I had this strategy of like, bought like these mispriced death and taxes, and I was doing this, and I got tier 16 bases, and I traded that, and blah, 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 and blah, blah. Like, even I don't do that stuff. Like, that's like, to me, that's an annoying, hyper-optimized type of plan. Or you got other people, like people that trade for group play, or anything like that, where They have a billion snipes set up already on the trade league. And they're sitting there trading 1C to 5C to 10C to exalts to mirrors by day 1, day 2, and they're doing all that type of stuff. Are you doing that? Probably not, right? And you can watch a video, you can watch, all the videos out there about how seeing people do it and like they're getting rich. But if you're not doing it and you're not gonna do it, like, don't stress about it. Don't be impatient. Don't worry about like, I need day 1 maps, I need day 2 maps. You're probably not that good at the economy. You're probably not going to be exploiting the economy like that. Don't stress about it, right? Especially this is just a little PvE silly game. I say it all the time on stream. Silly little PvE game. There's some people do PvP, I guess, but that's not for me. Yeah, silly little PvE game, especially with how much people don't like leveling new characters. Just enjoy that process of like slowly upgrading, set some like, concrete objective goals for what you can do with that character and upgrade it and kind of get to the places that you want to get to. And you'll see that process. Like my friend that I was mentioning earlier, he played a deck stacking Deadeye, and he league started it. He league started a deck stacking Deadeye. Let's say like a week into the league, I had already killed Maven, Cirrus, all that. I was farming T16s and all that. But he was just really patient. He just like, yeah, I'm just gonna log in every day, gonna play for like 2 to 4 hours every single day, depending on the time. He had a plan for just like upgrading and just like, I just need 5 exalts today, 5 exalts tomorrow. And eventually he made an absolute beast of a character, right? Like he hit all of these roadblocks of like, traditional stuff like, my single target feels bad. I don't want to use galvanic arrow. The barrage setup feels bad. I can't get a double 6 link. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to yellow maps and farm things up. Yeah, and there's just like so much content in the game, right? There's just so much content for the stuff that you can do that honestly, bum rushing it and just trying to get to that end game and conquer all the content in like day 3. That's why all these people that's why everyone's getting burned out. I enjoy the game the most. Like while I'm playing a lot of hours, I am not trying very hard to like min-max all that different type of content and get insane amount of currency and all that. Like I try to show it to people on stream all the time of like, hey, look at all the stuff that I have in standard. I have done this in the past. I've min-maxed the things. And really the journey is journey before destination. Like for real, there is really no competition here. I know there's like streamers out there kind of making it look like a competition, and maybe some stuff's in jest and play, but I think we have this like super min-maxed elite mindset for something that absolutely does not matter. If you want to like giga money competition, whatever, I don't know. I think play a different game. I think trying to make yourself like the Giga Chad in PoE is, if you're bragging about how rich and awesome you are in Path of Exile, honestly, you're just like, you're the weird kid in the corner of kindergarten that's just like seeing how much paste you can smear on your face or whatever. Just one quick point here. I want to clarify, I'm only talking about like dick measuring with like how many exalts and mirrors you have. If you care about money, that's fine. Go for it. I'm not trying to judge you there. But if you're trying to like say you're better than someone else or like brag about it, that's kind of just what I'm talking about. And also, I think racing and real competition and stuff like that is very cool. I love racing. I do the races. So, I'm not judging that. I am just judging, trying to say you're better than someone else because of how much money you have. So yeah, just want to get that in there. I think the fun thing about Path of Exile is it's a cool sandbox that you can kind of just sit in. There's all these toys and you can just have patience and play around with them and spend that time like really like, really thinking about what you're doing and interacting with and having and extracting a lot of fun out of that. And actually what I'm doing on stream right now, twitch.tv/subtractem around 2 p.m. every day. If you're interested, we were streaming for like 5 or 6 hours yesterday. And I spent that whole time just in Blood Aqueducts, like buying some random pieces of gear, going up and down Blood Aqueducts, thinking like, hey, is Static Strike feeling good? What about Sweep? What about Double Strike? I opened up the wiki, I just typed in swords, and I just looked at all the different swords. It's really about enjoying that process. And like the goal is cool. Like when you accomplish that goal, it feels good. If you don't enjoy that process and that like thinking about how it's all going to work and fit together and all that, like you'll never kind of elevate yourself to the next level of understanding how those pieces fit together. I like to like really take that time to just kind of like chew on it and kind of experience that whole thing. Even with 10 hours a week, as long as you're spending some of your off hours kind of thinking about what you're doing, you can accomplish a lot. All right, that was an absolutely undirected, unscripted, whatever ramble. Hopefully, there are some cool lessons that you can glean from that. I really just want people to enjoy the game a little bit better. I want to fight the whole, whatever Giga Chad, Reddit, Circle Jerk stuff, whatever stuff that's going out there. And, I think there's still a lot of fun to be had in Path of Exile if you're just patient with it and you enjoy all that. It's a cool sandbox, right? It's a cool sandbox. If you get burnt out, it's just a video game. Don't play it. I don't care. Go outside. It's cool. There's a lot of stuff out there. But if you want to play the game, like, don't stress out. Just like I want to stress. Don't stress stuff. Like, it is a silly video game. It's not a competition. If you just take your time, they give you 90 days every league to do your league challenges and enjoy stuff. Log in for a couple hours every day. Take some time away. Don't play for a couple days. And then if you don't want to boot it up again, just don't. Read a book. Watch TV. It's just a game. I don't care. Hopefully this was kind of fun and maybe enlightening and gave you some stuff to think about. I gotta get that second cup of coffee. The first one is wearing off. And yeah, gonna be streaming today about 2 p.m. It's gonna be really cool. Just gonna keep working on the two-handed sword witch that I'm working on. I'm actually just gonna kind of open that up and maybe consider some other stuff. And then after that, we're gonna do that for a few hours. And I want to play some Elden Ring, man. I am absolutely in love with that game. For me, probably just top 5 game ever made. Personally. I am absolutely in love with it. So we're going to do a little bit of that on stream. Maybe do try some of those hard bosses. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I'm going to get ready for the stream and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.